putting this down with these NFL Week 11 predictions. I'm sorry if I scared anybody because I screamed a little bit. My bad. We got a lot to talk about for Week 11 or Week 11 preview. I told Adam it was going to be abbreviated, but you never know what kind of tangent we might get on. You never know. But nonetheless, because we have other things that we want to get into tonight as well. Of course, this video is going to come out after the Whack'em Smack'em, or is it Smack'em Whack'em, or is it Whack Smack, Smack Whack, Smack Smack, Smack Smack?
It's
watch
yeah,
along.
it's the cereal smacks.
But this video is coming out after that video comes out, because that video will actually be live. So shout out to Nick once again for that, and of course we'll give him a shout out during that video for you know, however exciting or crazy or wild that may be. But nonetheless, we're gonna jump right into it. I'm actually gonna go no intro today, just to kind of just. I mean, it's gonna save us like a minute, whatever. But nonetheless, I'm gonna bring everybody on real quick on your screen, real quick. You're seeing right now, Facebook, YouTube. If you want to watch us, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, etc., 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 etc. Wherever you may want to listen, whatever your favorite platform is. But nonetheless, our week. How did I not change it from week 10 to week 11? But nonetheless, week 11 preview. I'll fix that here in a second here. But speaking of week 10, I guess take out the P. We got the review of week 10. Definitely a interesting week. Justin, glad you were able to clear your eyes out for the week 11 preview. So from the bye week, and for me, I don't know. I think everybody's pressing the panic button on my Ravens right now, and I'm like, if we would just quit beating ourselves, my goodness. A lot of it's just like lack of execution for me. It's like the game wasn't called badly. We just got beat by a really well coached team. I think Bill Belichick is still the best coach in the league, regardless of if he has us four and a couple other guys. We might have a chance. So I mean, and the Chiefs, understand that firsthand. Not that they lost that game, but it was a really close game with a backup quarterback at that. So it's like Justin understands how difficult it is to play the Patriots. Especially in a game where the Patriots aren't favored, because I think they just I think Belichick's like, do you know who I am? Do you know who this is right now? Do you understand who's coaching on the other side here? But nonetheless, I mean, for me, as far as the Ravens camp, I feel I'm a little frustrated simply because it's like lack of execution. It's the little things. But the good thing about lack of execution, lack of discipline, I think that can easily be improved. I think that's one of those things that can be improved. You can learn how to not line up wrong once or twice a game. Thank you. You can learn how to snap the football, mascara. That's another one that you can learn how to do. You can learn how to incorporate a feature back, as we've been saying for how long now. At this point, you can learn how to incorporate a feature back and give the football to Gus. Just look. I mean, I love Mark Ingram, but he has lost the. I ended up watching something from last year. I was watching the Ravens highlights from last year, and Mark Ingram was like, boom. Dude was freaking. I mean, he was moving, turning on a dime, doing his thing, and then after that injury, of course, he had late in the season. Because I've been looking at Ravens highlights trying to figure out what is going on. I don't think it's as bad as it looks, but it's bad, okay? And I'm like, what is going on? And at first I was like, it's they're not running the football enough. But then there's been a couple of games, Steelers, and I think the Patriots game they ran the ball to the quota of the 30 runs that I was talking about, and it just didn't finish the game, or they turned the ball over too much. And I think it comes down to carelessness for me. And I think everybody has seen their team play careless at times and lose games and been like, we had it, or we should have, or we could have did this better or something like that. But yeah, another thing, and my last point, because I don't want to, go on too much of a tangent, but my last point is Hollywood, number one, has to be better. He has to be better. I'm not worried about Hollywood's hands. I'm worried about Hollywood's ability to get open and whatever they're scheming for Hollywood to do. because Hollywood's hands, like when you watch him catch the ball and take a hit, or you watch him catch some of these difficult catches, one-handed catches, he's a really good catcher of the football. I'm just wondering why he's not getting open on some of these deep routes, some of these double moves. And another thing is why he's not running across the field on a couple of drags every once in a while too, to get him open and get him going. That's another thing that I think should happen with Hollywood. Also, Dez Bryant, I think a lot of people are like, oh, if Dez Bryant is the savior, then we should just ball up the season, take it and throw it over the back of our heads. But Dez Bryant is a good catcher of the football. That's all I want. I don't care if you can beat me down the field. I don't care if you can outrun somebody. I want somebody that Lamar can trust to throw the football to. Mark Andrews isn't, let's be honest, Mark Andrews isn't out here beating anybody with speed. So if Mark Andrews can do it and be that 50-50 ball type guy, then so can Dez Bryant. All I want Dez Bryant to do, we talked about it last week, be the Anquan Boldin type of receiver. That's all I want. That's what I'm looking for. Those are my frustrations right now. Run the ball. Give the ball to Gus. Give me some threats. You gotta respect Dez Bryant. I don't care who it is. We could put Jerry Rice at as old as he is right now, and as great as he was, and he probably has. I'm sure he's lost his step because he hasn't played football in a while. I'll tell you that because he's in the Hall of Fame and he's chilling. We could put Jerry Rice out there right now. You gotta respect him. You have to respect him, even if he's out there right now. I'm not saying someone go sign Jerry Rice. This is a hypothetical. I'm saying you gotta have somebody out there that as a corner I gotta respect. Hollywood, I know Hollywood. If I get too physical with him, he's not he's not coming off the line of scrimmage. I don't know who Devin Duvernay is right yet. If Willie Snead's your number one receivers, that's an issue. That's definitely an issue. But nonetheless, Casey, any thoughts about the Ravens? Talk about the Colts. Anybody else got thoughts about the Ravens before we jump into a little bit more of what's going down here? Casey, any thoughts on the Colts? Anything that anybody wants to chime in on?
Well, we got the dub. We got the dub. So,
Real quick, Adam, did you have a point? It looked like you had a point.
Yeah, I would say no. Going to the Ravens aspect of it, to me, it all boils down to scheme, because everything you just laid out is true. And I don't think it's, well, the other thing you got to factor in too, that the weather conditions.
Yeah, that weather conditions were bad. It was pouring down rain. Yeah.
I mean, you could hear the smacking of the rain in the camera. So it wasn't like it was perfect conditions, but that was the cards you were dealt. But they're not utilizing Hollywood right. They are not utilizing Dobbins right at all. And for some reason, they're wanting Ingram to be the primary back. And that's
trying to keep everybody happy, Adam. When you got a running back that, dude, Gus is averaging 6 yards a carry this year. Are you kidding me?
Yep. I agree. And Ingram has not been the same since the second game against the Browns, because that's where he got hurt. He's lost a step. So yeah, I don't know why. Whatever that offensive staff is wanting to do, they're for some reason they want Ingram to be the bell cow, and he's good. But right now, you just get him in goal line situations or short yardage situations, or just mix it up in general. But I think this is just all comes down to scheme, and they're putting way too much on Lamar to try to take over these games, because they scored first, but once they got behind, it was chase, and that's just not in the cards.
And two, Adam, Lamar's absolutely doing everything. Like, they're relying on Lamar to literally do everything. He's your leading rusher. Of course, he's your leading passer. That's kind of how that works playing quarterback. But he's your leading rusher. They want him to throw the ball all these times with no receivers to get open. What do you expect? Why do you expect that to work? It's just not going to.
Yeah, and they're also missing key pieces on both sides of the line.
Yeah. And I mean, the Chiefs are the perfect example of this. I'm not going to, I feel like the Chiefs have good receivers, but I don't know if they have any, great receivers. Like, McCole Hardman, you put him in another system, I don't know if he's as good as he is right now. Tyreek Hill is the same way. He's fast, but I'm not going to say he's the best, maybe the best route runner or maybe the best possession guy, because that's not him. So I feel like the Chiefs have a lot of talent, and but they also know exactly how to use Tyreek Hill with McCole Hardman with Sammy Watkins, and then add Travis Kelce in there, then add Clyde Edwards-Helaire in there. They know exactly how to use their pieces, which comes down to coaching once again, which was the Exhibit A.
And coming down to that scheme of things, you know what I mean? The scheme of things, and I don't like the Ravens' scheme of things right now. They're not going like what they should be going with. Like Adam alluded to, I definitely agree. Like they just keep like you said, DJ. They just keep beating up themselves. Like if they stick to their game plan, they should be winning these games. And also when they're down in games, like they always seem to have to fight. They keep fighting back, but like I don't know. They always doing that.
It's like they keep fighting back, but they don't have that last little bit every time. Like it's not like in these games they're getting beat in. It's not like they're not in the game. It's not like they don't get it to 7 points or they don't get it to 6 points or get it to one possession. They just end up losing at the very end.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say is like they're pressing the games like they're down a couple of scores. It's like, guys, you're only down 6, you're only down 10. It's like, again, one score changes the whole complexion, whatever, though you can take your time. Obviously, pending the point of the game, halfway through the third or approaching the fourth quarter, you can take your time. Once you get into the fourth, you got to have a little bit of urgency, whatever, though. But yeah, but then they go into this, like, we have to go into the 2-minute offense. They think that that's going to change the pace. I mean, if you can do that, if you get a big chunk play and you're trying to press them because you got them on their heels. But then all of a sudden, but again, even if they're down 3, it's like they're like, okay, everybody just do a go route. No, take your time. You got Dobbins can still be good. And this is not an indictment on him. He is not being used properly. Again, I watched him for 3 years at Ohio State. He is a weapon. And just for some reason, they put him into the number 3 hole in terms of the running game. They could just be interchangeable,
well,
and they all could be.
And it's hard at him because you got 3 stud running backs. Mark Ingram's still good. Gus is the most underrated back maybe in the league. And then Dobbins is a beast. We've seen when Ingram was out how Dobbins can run when you give him the ball. How Gus can run when you give him the ball. They have an issue with trying to keep everybody happy. I've heard that a lot. They're trying to keep everybody happy.
Yeah, use Dobbins in those underneath curls, just the swing pass. My God, the Niners nickel and dimed the Patriots doing that. Just right out into the flat, whatever. Though, get him in motion, get Hollywood in motion. You can do those jet sweeps with him, whatever. Though he's not going to be touched. No one is beating him around the edge.
Exactly. Casey, how'd you feel about the Colts dub as you said?
We got the dub. I thought it was a pretty good game. They had me worried in the beginning. It was pretty even in the beginning. First, second quarter. Then we finally were able to kind of break out and get a pretty good lead. And I feel at that point we pretty much had it in the bag. But I mean, I feel like again, it's a divisional game. I feel like you always kind of have to worry, you can't really take, your divisional rivals too lightly because there's always a chance that they can come back. We've had games with the Titans where they've beaten us, we've beaten them. But then again, I think we're still, are we in the lead in our division? I think so.
You guys are in second.
No, we're not. We're in first.
Are you guys in first?
That's first.
Oh, okay. I guess you guys are in first. I could have sworn you guys were in second.
That's first. So we're first. Yeah, I thought it was a good game. I don't think anything was too spectacular. Nothing was like too crazy. It was just, a typical game. I felt like there were better games this week than the Titans and the Colts. They're my team, but there were better games on this week.
Yeah, you guys are ahead by a half game. You guys have the same record, but because of the head-to-head, you got an edge on them. So,
yeah, that gradually impressing people from week to week type of a defense that the Colts have, that they've gradually built. That they've gradually built year after year, is really it really did a number on the Titans. More so, I think, in the second half. Where ironically enough, the Titans started to wear down. The Titans are the team that are used to wearing everybody else down. We're gonna run Derrick Henry until you can't defend it.
Well, that was the big thing. Is like Derrick got his yards, but the Colts were stout in bending but not breaking. It's like once they got into the red zone, whatever, that's when they started pressing, and that wasn't Tannehill's best game. The play of the game was that block punt recovered by
special teams was amazing.
Yeah, by former Cleveland Brown T.J. Carey.
Yeah, special teams played amazing for the Colts in this game, and I think they did a good job too of being disciplined. Because a lot of times, and we talked about the Titans before, the Titans run such a good scheme. It's simple, but it's so effective. Because, like we talked about it before, their runs look just like their passes. Their runs look just like their play-action passes. So you have to be really disciplined, which the Ravens weren't when they played them in the playoffs, and hopefully they can be a little more disciplined this week. But you got to be really disciplined as a defense to not peek too much into the backfield before Tannehill is giving the ball to Derrick Henry, actually giving the football to Derrick Henry. Because they will take a shot downfield, But Adam, what was your thoughts on the on your Browns this week?
Well, Kevin, I think, learned from the Raiders game, and obviously the 1, 2, and 3 reasons for that. It was Nick Chubb. That granted, early on,
hey,
I know
you forgot about Nick Chubb.
And you forgot about Nick Chubb.
I'm sure. I gotta say, I can't leave out Chubb.
Did you get Nick Chubb? I just wanted to make sure.
This is true. Yes,
okay.
yes. Now, apparently, Matt Millen, if anybody listens to the Fox games, Matt Millen apparently has a grudge against Nick Chubb. Like, anytime he made a run, like literally Matt Millen would say, well, I think Hunt would have gotten more yards. The hell? Anyway, that was bizarre. But they were doing a good job with him early on, but he still had a handful of 9, 8, 9, 10-yard runs. Then they kind of locked him down. Kareem Hunt played out of his mind this game, like a little over 100 yards, and they were a well-earned 100-yard, a well-earned 100-yard game. And I kept saying you have to maintain that game plan because the weather was garbage again, and they just slowly wore down Watt in that front seven. This is what I was expecting, even despite Nick Chubb. In the Raiders game, where they imposed their wit, and plus Wyatt Teller on the O line was getting him back was major because again way more physical up front. But Baker made enough throws. That 3rd and 18 to Rashard Higgins was ridiculous in that weather. I will tell you this: the Texans have DeAndre Hopkins still. Texans win that game. Because all Deshaun would have to do, because he has the arm strength too, is just zip it to Hopkins, and it was going to be first down, and they extended drives. And the Browns were way better on 3rd downs. Still gave up some chunk yardage, but they were way better at getting off the field on 3rd and 4th downs. And of course, Myles Garrett. What else needs to be said? Donald may win Defensive Player of the Year, but Myles Garrett needs to be in the talk for MVP of the league, just because he is that important and that much of a game wrecker. But again, 6-3 feels a hell of a lot better than if it would have been if they would have lost this game being 5-4. So this was an absolute one of these games you had to have because the Texans are 2-6. They're a dangerous 2-6 team just because you look at Deshaun, you're like, there's no way this team's have a losing record. But just their defense is that bad. And I don't know if you guys saw the clip of Chubb busting out that 59-yard run and stepping out of bounds. Fantasy owners and the people that had money on the spread were pissed, and Chubb said, "Screw you, I'm taking the W." I would have liked to see him get the touchdown just because he was coming back from injury, but he was wise in saying, like, we're not even going to give them the ball back. Step out of bounds, take a knee, ball game's over. The win meant more, and it was the most unselfish thing I'd ever seen.
Exactly. Any notable news from Chiefs land during the bye, Justin?
I mean, man, dude, this was a terrible week. We lost this week. It was bad. We lost to the Man Bear Pigs. We lost to that team. It was terrible. I cried. No, I'm just kidding. No, I got a lot of rest this week. Like it was. There were actually some really good games on this week. I mean, my other team won. The Finns, but I'm not going to say the other part because Casey is going to, I'm not saying the part, not the wins. Finns win. No, yeah, there we go. Finns
the
win.
Miami Dolphins.
The Miami Dolphins. I love that. Yeah, but they got the win. They're high right now, and I love that the Bills lost. The Bills lost to the Cardinals. That was good. But that's what I have to say about this week, though.
What about what about the Hail Mary from Kyler Murray? That was ridiculous.
The Hail Murray.
The Hail Murray.
I mean, he deserves a lot of credit for that throw, but DeAndre Hopkins caught that over Jordan Poyer and Tre'Davious White and Micah Hyde. Ridiculous.
Three defensive backs.
Now, three solid defensive backs at that. Like,
yeah. I was going to say, I'm still mad we let Poyer go because he has been nothing but a gem for them. And I really can't blame those guys because they always, what does Tom Jackson always say on primetime? Knock the ball down. And I think that was the intent, but just DeAndre Hopkins is not human. That was the most incredible. And they actually, the pressure from the front they actually did what they needed to do and get Kyler to go the opposite way. And he had to put all of his body into that throw. I mean, that I thought the DK Metcalf running down Budda Baker was the play of the year. That was the play of the year.
Speaking of DK Metcalf, real quick before we get into Week 11 and our Ravens Titans preview, the Seahawks okay? Like they all right, bro? Cause they struggling at this point. Like Russ was an MVP front runner. They were looking good, like a Super Bowl contender, and now it's like, is this even the same team? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know how to like, I really don't know how to describe it. I know Justin's happy, but I don't really know how to describe it. Really don't.
They're putting too much on Russ. You can't. I guess that's why I said last week you can't expect them to put up 40 each week and just outscore them. And it's like eventually you have to have some semblance of a defense to make just that one or two stops. But also it's trending too. Russ is starting to throw a lot of picks. I think he's had 5 or 6 in the last couple of games.
And I think we're realizing really what kind of talent Russ has beside him, because this Tyler Lockett didn't play, right?
I don't think so.
No, he didn't play.
So they put Jalen Ramsey on DK Metcalf, and Jalen Ramsey said, hey, we can go play PS5 or something in the room or something because you ain't catching the football. So that did away with that. So everybody else just kind of Well, that's a loss. Because I mean, there was nothing that the Seahawks offense could do, and they're missing Chris Carson, so they're just running with whoever they got left at this point too.
Alex Collins,
my guy, by the way. I do love Alex.
You know, say former Raven.
Yeah, I do love Alex Collins, by the way. But even with Alex Collins, he hadn't played since we released him. So since his tenure ended with us. So it's one of those things where it's like they're really starting to get thin. I think on that offensive end, and they already were thin on the defensive end. But yeah, nonetheless. Let's jump into this Week 11 preview, starting with the Ravens and the Titans. Revenge game, I feel like, for the Ravens. Last time we came into this game, of course, the Ravens were a favorite, number 1 seed. Titans come in, freaking just run all over, turn Earl Thomas around, like literally, like basically threw Earl Thomas off the team at that point. Like, I mean, we didn't know it at the time, but I mean, practically that's what happened. I mean, Earl Thomas became a meme that night. They ran all over us. It was just bad. So coming into this game, hopefully we number one learned our lesson. Number two, I think it's going to be interesting to see a team that we played a year ago that was able to beat us and was able to beat us in a pretty dominant fashion because that's kind of been the game that everybody's. I mean, regardless of the Chiefs, regardless of the Steelers, and regardless of last week, with the Patriots, this has been the game that everybody's been talking about leading into the season and throughout the season. Even Lamar, when we lost to, I think it was the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken, he said in the post game that he was seeing a lot of the looks that the Titans threw at him. So now that becomes an interesting storyline because the Titans can beat you, and defensively they have the smarts to defeat you. But this is a game that you kind of got to win, albeit you're 6-3. It's not like your playoff hopes are dashed or anything like that. But you're 6-3, but like so's like 3/4 of the league at this point. Like 3/4 of the league is 6-3 at this point. So it's weird how like 6-3 isn't even special anymore to anybody. Like everybody's just like, nope, gotta keep going. 6-3, and even like 7-2 isn't even special anymore because everybody's like right there on you. Like it's been such a tight race, especially in the AFC. The AFC is so tight right now, where it's just like you don't know who. Like the playoff picture is literally just up in the air. You don't know who's gonna be there at the end of the day. But definitely, I mean, I'm intrigued by this matchup just because of the way it went in the past, and I think it's an intriguing matchup because of number one, we're seeing a weakness on the defense, maybe the run D without Calais Campbell and without Brandon Williams. Hopefully Calais is back this week, but we don't know yet. And the Patriots ran all like the Patriots made the Ravens run defense look like one ply Dollar Tree toilet paper. It was so bad. It was absolutely awful. I mean, Harris ran all over us. Like I thought it was Derrick Henry for a second because that's the last time I felt like somebody just gashed our defense like that. Besides Nick, no, I thought it was Nick Chubb because when we played Nick Chubb in that Week 4 loss last year, or Week 3 loss last year, it was Week 4 loss last year. It was like, can y'all like tackle this man? Like, can y'all like hit the hole? Like, can y'all don't let him hit the hole. Y'all hit the hole. Come on. Like, I was like that's how I felt watching the Patriots. So now we play against an even better running back in Derrick Henry, and maybe the top of the league. I think he's battling for top of the league right now as far as yards with Dalvin Cook, if I'm not mistaken. So we're playing against one of the best rushing football teams in the league. This is going to be interesting, and I want to see. Because the storyline the whole year has been discipline. So it's like I want to see how disciplined this team is going to be against a very disciplined team on the other end with Mike Vrabel and him leading this team. Like they're very disciplined in what they do, and they know exactly and you know what they're going to do. It's just can you stop it? So I'm very interested in this game. This is one that I hope is a blowout for my sanity because I can't take any more close games. I really can't. I can't take any more close games. I know, of course, me being a Ravens fan of the last three years, of course, I've been a little bit spoiled a little bit with the blowouts and with kind of the easier victories or whatever. Where like these coast games are a little bit uncomfortable now. It's like, okay, we're supposed to be up by like 14, like 20 by now. Like, what y'all doing? This ain't, I ain't used to seeing this. So it's like it's. I'm hoping the offense takes another step forward. I want Dez to be activated. I don't care if he's a decoy. I could care less. I want Dez to be activated, and I want to feel like this offense has taken a step forward and not 10 steps backward as I felt like, pretty much the entire season. Now, albeit, and I think people forget that last year was a record-setting season, so the only place you can go is down, even if it is a notch. So, yeah. I'll pick this game in a second. I think everybody knows where I'm going to go, but I'll let you guys pick first. Let's go to Casey first.
Don't go to me first. You said go to me first. Don't go to me first.
I don't know. I just looked at you and I was like, Casey. You really don't want to go first?
I really don't want to go first.
Adam.
I am never picking the Ravens again. Titans, Super Saiyans, ain't no Tannehill high enough.
That's their despiteful pick, right? This is their despiteful pick. I guess I'll pick that.
Look, at this point, with the way the Browns are and how close the Browns and the Ravens are right now, he can't help it but to pick against the Ravens. It's got to happen. Like,
true.
It's lose-lose because the Titans are in the same position as we are, and we have them in 2 weeks. So that that game is going to be big. So like I should theoretically be going for Baltimore, but as is because in the division we really can't chase the Steelers. Like for the division, we can't be doing any chasing. Whatever we can chase for second, but right now, I said we're really fighting realistically for that 7th spot. So I should be rooting for the Ravens, but again, going for the spiteful pick.
Justin, did you make your pick?
I haven't actually. No, I haven't. Yeah, I'm gonna make it quick here and say that the Ravens get a win over the Titans, in a revenge game from last year, because I don't think they're, I think they learned from the mistakes that they made last year. So Ravens win here.
Casey, did you make a pick on this one? Because I think you wanted to go last, if I'm not mistaken.
I did want to go last, and then you tried to pick me anyway, and I was like, bruh, I want to go last. Anyway, what game are we talking about?
Ravens and the Titans. You gotta pick the Ravens because you gotta pick outside your division, around your division, between your division, in between, and beside, and up on top of your head of your division. Scheme of things, division.
Okay, and then back into my division, so I'm gonna go with the Titans.
Okay. Sure. Makes it harder on y'all later, but go ahead. You do you. You do you, Casey.
You do you, boo.
Yeah,
I was just about to say, you do you, boo boo.
All right, we're gonna skip ahead in the schedule real quick and go to the Browns and the Eagles. Very interesting game. We're gonna start off with Adam. Real quick on this Browns Eagles matchup. Very interesting matchup. Cause I don't know who the Eagles are, and I don't know who they think they are. But they're not very.
They don't even know.
So Adam, take it away.
So much, but the other thing that I have to consider too is that, like, despite what happened against the Giants, you can't you can't take any of these opponents lightly because they're going to be looking to take you out of contention. Philly, Carson has regressed tremendously. They have no, they don't have their they don't have their plethora of weapons. Like I said, Ertz is hurt. A couple of the linemen are hurt. They're a better running team than they are passing. Sanders has been very solid for them. But you can't be a one-trick pony, which is what happened to the Texans. They're a one-trick pony, and the weather was a factor where Deshaun couldn't throw the ball. That's going to be the story again this Sunday. It's going to be warm, but they're still calling for rain. It's probably going to be them high winds again, and that benefits Cleveland. So that's why, especially in the passing game, people can't take the not great numbers from Baker. He's just making enough passes, and that's all he needs to do. They're not having him throw it 30 times. You can't throw it 30 times in that weather. You are still, it benefits you that to run behind, no pun intended, run behind your game plan, which is behind Hub and Chunt. What they need to do is maintain, because you're not facing Deshaun Watson this time, whatever. You still have to respect the potential talent that is there from Wentz, but again, Wentz I don't think is going to beat you over the top. You just maintain to make sure that Miles still does his thing, and especially in that weather, he's going to be doing a lot of this because it's like Wizard of Oz out there with especially what happened in the Raiders game and this past Sunday. But and like I mentioned before, the defense is, the situational stuff is getting better. It's not there yet, but in small increments, they're starting to get other guys involved, whether it be Ogunjobi, Richardson, Vernon. They're finally, it's finally not just a Miles show. And Ronnie Harrison is one of the best safeties in the league. Thank you, Jacksonville, for coughing him up. Still wish we would have just gotten one more stud player in free agency, but that's besides the point. But with the weather conditions that's being projected, things like that, this is still going to be a not aesthetically pleasing game, whatever. But I still say Cleveland wins like 17-6, 17-7, 17-10, something like that. You get one, whoever gets that first touchdown, I say that wins this game, and I think this definitely benefits Cleveland.
Also, some of the big news, because there was a lot of injuries this week too. Drew Brees isn't going to play week 11, so the crab legs are back, baby. I'm hyped. Teddy Bridgewater got hurt. He got rolled up on. I'm not sure what's going on with him, but he got rolled up on. And of course, Nick Boyle is out for the year. With that, one of the more gruesome injuries that I've seen watching the game. That was ridiculous. Watching his knee twist like that, and then almost whip back around and not be contorted and just laying somewhere. I saw a video today that actually Rabbit was the one who had got me introduced to this channel, and it was actually by accident, complete accident that I saw it. But it was like a doctor explaining what happened, because nothing's been said about what happened to him. A dislocation. Did his entire knee implode? Nothing's been said about it. So it's I'm still wondering, watching it and seeing it a couple of times and cringing every time. It's just how in the how in the world does your knee contort like that? And please, no more COVID seasons.
Well, that's why everybody wear your damn mask. Wear your mask. And before I forget too, the Browns just re-signed somebody they had a couple years ago, Derek Willis. And DJ, you should remember him quite well in that week. I think it was week 4 or 5 against Cleveland in 2018, where he was the one that made that third down catch and ran past. God, who was that badass safety you guys used to have? I think he plays for the Rams now. or did play for the Rams.
Talking about Eric Weddle?
Weddle, yes. Yes. But he's the only he's the next to Donovan Peoples-Jones. That's another big frame guy. He's not a burner, but that's another guy that Baker is familiar with and could be beneficial. That could help us down the line.
Definitely agreed. I'm going with the Eagles. I don't trust them. I don't think they're gonna win it. But for me, in my current situation, I need them to win it.
Spiteful pig.
Because right now I'm on the Go Giants train. Because the Eagles have definitely disappointed me far too often for me to ever pick them ever again. I take Danny Dimes instead of anybody else. Okay, that's just me. I take Danny Dimes over Carson Wentz. Okay, that's just me. Okay, I mean, goodness.
Who's throwing this football? Stevie Wonder?
Justin, Eagles or Browns?
I'm gonna have to say the Browns here. Like, DJ, you're starting to get me on the Giants train again. Like, I don't believe in I don't believe in these Eagles right now. I just don't. I believe in Danny Dimes more than I believe in blind Carson Wentz.
Well, now he needs to be called Danny Wheels because he ran all over the Eagles. I give him that. He's good and mobile. He just needs to stay on his feet.
True.
He's sneaky fast, man. He's sneaky fast. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league right now. I just like my biggest thing with I love anybody who gets booed out of New York after being drafted by a New York team. I like Kristaps Porzingis. Okay. My boy Danny Dimes, it's just how it has to be. It's just how it has to be, okay? I gotta cheer for the revenge story. You booed me and I got drafted by your stupid team. I don't want to go to New York. Anyway, I mean, New York the city. I would love to go to New York, but yeah, right, exactly. Casey.
Well.
And you can't pick the refs. They are eligible.
Well, considering I know the Eagles very well, very, very well.
You picked the house?
I live in the same state. I've grown up around Eagles fans, unfortunately. So I know if there's one thing that you can be assured of in this game is they are going to get the L. They're going to get the L. I guarantee it. Because
her.
I showed you guys that news report. It was legit. I didn't make it. I didn't fake it. They're legitimately just going to get rid of the NFC East. They're just going to. It's going to be NFC North, South, and West. That's going to be it. It's done. It's done.
Ben Roethlisberger has more wins than the entire NFC East combined.
These are facts, ladies and gentlemen. These are facts.
Wreck-It Ralph is wrecking the NFC.
Unfortunate facts, but they are facts. Into the Colts pick, the Colts and the Packers. Very interesting game. Another kind of statement game, I think, for the Colts. Because, people can't keep saying the Colts are, the Colts are just, they're just kind of okay. I don't know if they're that good if they keep beating good teams, okay? You can't keep saying that. That's not how that works. So for me, it's going to be a tough one because, I think the Packers have played well, but I don't know if they played well against good teams per se. I think the Colts get the upset on this one. I hope they don't. I hope they lose. But I think the Colts get the upset on this one, and I hope they beat the Packers. I really do. Let's kick it to Justin.
I really want to go with the Colts here. I do. And last week with the Packers and the Jacksonville game, that was a really close game. Like, you would expect that game to be a blowout. Like, you would expect that game from last week to be a blowout, but it just wasn't. Like, I don't know. Like a 1-17. Like, you're like, what? Like, how are they still with them? I'm gonna pick the Packers, but I also kind of want to see an upset by the Colts because that'd be amazing to see. But Packers win.
All right, Casey. Do the Packers win?
Y'all must be confused because the only upset would be if the Packers managed to somehow beat the Colts. Okay? That's the only upset here in this scenario. Because we're on a roll, baby. We're on a roll, baby. I'm going with my Colts confidently.
I don't know about confidently.
There's no second thoughts in my head at all. Confidence is key.
Except for that second thought. But nonetheless, the Chiefs and the Raiders. The last loss of the Chiefs season was against the Raiders, ironically enough. So,
indeed it was.
Justin, I don't know how you feeling about this one, but I think the Raiders gonna get that sweep. They gonna pull out that broom, baby. I think they gonna surprise y'all. I really do. Y'all been resting for a week and all that, bruh. They gonna surprise y'all. They are going to surprise the Chiefs. They gonna ooga booga the Chiefs, and they gonna get the win. Raiders. And the Raiders, don't get me wrong, the Raiders are good. Like, I'm not saying they're going to surprise them because they're not good. No, the Raiders are good. The Raiders are good. The Raiders are for real.
They're good.
And Derek Carr has been sneaky good this year. I've really liked how Derek Carr's played this year. I think he's played very well. I think he's been very sneaky good, I guess, if I can say that. I think that's a backhanded compliment, but I think he's played very well this year. Definitely. And I think he's going to get another win. I think he's going to prove himself against the Chiefs. He's going to, again, for a second time. Because I think the Chiefs are going to lose to the Raiders. They're going to lose to the Chargers. And the Broncos, that's a little suspect. But other than that, okay, I think they're going to squeak out some wins against y'all. That's all I'm saying, Justin. We're going to make Justin wait and marinate a little bit over there. In the pickle juice. Casey.
Well, first of all, Adam spelled Raiders wrong somehow. He spelled it Chiefs, so I don't know what that is. He says Red Kingdom. I think he's trying to go for the Raiders. He just don't know how to spell it. Yeah. Anyway. We know who I'm going to pick. It's the Raider Raid, baby. It's the Raider Raid.
I mean, Casey, I can respect that pick. But I don't know if Justin can respect that pick. Justin, how you feel?
Oh, he will.
I mean, I respect your pick, but I'm not going to agree with you guys. I mean, okay, so the Raiders can't get one over us because they got one over us earlier this season. See, how you beat Mahomes is keeping him on the sideline, and the Raiders need to, if they want to beat us again, they're going to have to, once again, keep Patrick on the sideline. They're going to have to be edgy, go for these, if it's 4th and 1, they're going to have to go for it. Like, our defense needs to get better this week if we really want to win. Like, Patrick, he needs to quit doing so much of this stuff, and our defense needs to step up here. But I'm going to say the Chiefs win because I don't think we're going to lose I don't think we're going to lose, get swept by a divisional team here. So we're going to win here this week.
Have you ever picked against the Chiefs?
I actually have. Yes, I have. I actually have the first year I was on here. I have to go back and check this out.
Yeah, remember they had like Matt Castle or something.
We had Alex Smith.
I still don't believe it.
Alex is a good quarterback. Moving on. The Cardinals and the Seahawks, Thursday Night Football, if I'm not mistaken. This is going to be another good one. It was good when they had the Monday Night Football game, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of the best games of the year. And I think it's going to continue that on Thursday night. This will be a really good game, Cardinals and Seahawks. I think the Seahawks get their revenge here. Even though the Cardinals just look like they're on a whole nother level as of right now, I think the Seahawks will get their revenge here in the 12th man, even though it's not really the 12th man. With not as many fans, it doesn't really work as well. But nonetheless, I think the Seahawks get this one. Justin.
Cardinals and Seahawks. Oh, this is tough. This is really tough here. Divisional game. You know what? I'm going to say give me the Cardinals here this week. Give me the Cards.
Casey.
Both of us are taking the Cards.
Talking about that Uno? The Uno cards or what?
Yeah, the Uno cards.
The St. Louis Cardinals.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moving into the Cincinnati Bengals going up against the Washington football team. Oh my goodness. Here's the deal with Cincy and what I learned last week. Cincy will not beat you unless they can score with you. Washington cannot score. So with that being said, the Bengals win.
How do they score with you? Do they have two footballs out there? Like, are they scoring with you?
They're like going back and forth, tit for tat, you know.
Tit for tat.
Is it tit for tat or tick for tat? Because I mean, tic tacs are good, so tick for tat makes sense. But you don't want to get a royalties to tic tac for the state. Anyway, Bengals win the game. Casey looks like he got a lot to say, so I'm gonna kick it to Casey about his Washington football team.
Well, Adam is going with the Bengals. I don't know why he would do that, because the Washington football team, baby, is they the real deal. You just don't know it yet. They are the real. They are the only football team in the NFL. None of the other teams say football team, so they not the. So I'm going with the refs.
All right, Justin.
This game could go either way here. You know what?
It can go one way, and that's the football team way.
The football team way. You know what? Give me the Bengals here.
Okay. Logical. The Falcons and the Saints. Jameis Winston returns.
Crab legs are back.
The crab legs are back, and the passing leader shows why he was the passing leader last year. He gonna throw for 2 touchdowns, no picks, and 250 yards. Go
250.
250.
That's a bold prediction.
That's bold right there. That's bold. Now, I would say 500. But that's a little too much. Justin.
That's way too much. Give me the Saints. Saints are winning. Who would pick the Falcons here? Like, really? Who would pick the Falcons?
Casey.
You know, Adam and I are both going with the New Orleans Saints. Saints.
This man. Please no Bucks.
How in the world can the Jaguars beat the Steelers? Somebody, please tell me. Only way they beat the Steelers is if the Steelers don't show up. Like literally do not bring their team to the field and forfeit the game. I think that's the only way. I have what's his name? Chase Luton. Chase Luton has looked good. Chase Luton has looked good to me. But I don't see them beating the Steelers. I think the Steelers defense is too good for a team of the Jaguars caliber to beat them. But I do hope I am going to put the Steelers on upset alert against the Jaguars. because Chase Luton, I think his first name is Chase.
You mean Cassie? I think it's Cassie.
But anyway, does anybody want to go with the Jaguars before we? Cause does Adam want to go with the Jaguars?
He wants to go with the Squealers. I'm gonna put him on upset alert. I'm gonna give him a chance.
Okay.
I'm giving him a chance. Any given Sunday, baby. Any given Sunday.
You know what? I'm going to give it to the AEW roster.
If you say so.
No. Steelers are going to win.
Patriots and the Texans. I'm going with the Patriots. Texans are a pretty big underdog here. I still feel like even against the Patriots that are only 4-5. Does anybody want to go with anybody want to pick against the Patriots here? Anybody? Uh-oh.
I'm waiting for
Adam's typing. Adam's giving his pick virtually. Well, we're all technically giving our pick virtually, but via text.
He's going with the pass. I think we're all going with the pass.
Okay, just making sure. Just making sure that we was all going with the Pats because I mean we've seen some crazy things. Like I don't know. I mean we've seen some crazy things. That was like the all of my statement there. What about the Panthers and the Lions? The Panthers and the Lions. I mean, I would say, does anybody want to go with the Lions because they're the Lions? But maybe somebody wants to go with the Lions.
They be lying. The Lions be lying. So I can't trust them.
They always lying. Yeah, they do. They be lying.
I can't trust the Lions.
You know what? Just because you said that. I'm going with the Lions. And
you think the Leons?
Both of us are going with the Leons.
Really? The Leons?
Yeah.
Considering I have no earthly idea who the Panthers are playing in quarterback if Teddy Bridgewater is hurt. I'm gonna go with the Lions too. Tricked you, Justin. Left you on the island.
You know what? I'll go with the Cats here. They're both Cats. So which cat wins?
You already picked the Panthers.
You know what? I'm going back because I forgot Teddy Bridgewater.
No takes and backsies.
Lions win.
No takes and backsies. You can't do that. No.
Because
your vote has been in and has been counted.
Okay, here we go. Before y'all even know their opponents, does anybody want to pick the Jets? We don't even know who they're facing yet. They're facing the Chargers. Does anybody want to pick the Jets? Because I don't.
Hold on. Let me ask them real quick.
Does anybody want to pick the Jets? Pick the Jets. The Jets. The Jets. The Jets. The Jets. I would not be picking the Jets. I'm assuming Justin's not going to pick the Jets. Casey's probably not going to pick the Jets. But Adam may pick the Jets.
He says, he's thinking.
Okay.
He said no.
Okay.
I thought he was going to say.
Are you saying no. Yes, Casey?
No, it's tough. It's tough. No. Hell no.
All right. The Dolphins and the Broncos. Does anybody want to pick the Broncos? Because the Dolphins have won, what, 4 straight? 5 straight? 4 straight? I think it's 4 straight.
5 straight. It's 5 straight. Yeah.
Are you certain?
I'm certain.
Are you certain?
I'm certain.
Okay, just making sure.
The Dolphins wins.
Anybody picking the Broncos? Anybody? Going once.
I mean, I'm going with the Dolphins.
Okay. Going twice.
Adam says the Fins get the win.
Okay. Add a penny to Casey's bank. The Cowboys and the Vikings. Does anybody? I said anybody want to pick the Cowboys?
The Minnesota does win.
Baby.
The Minnesota does win.
Minnesota.
I think if I read correctly, I think Dak is active this week. I think, pretty sure.
He's active this week. Dak's winning. The Dak attack is back. Yeah.
Oh, terrible. Y'all just terrible. Terrible. Did Adam pick?
Wait. Hold on. I told him Dak's back, so he might pick the Cowboys.
He might be back on the sideline watching.
He can throw with one leg. That's fine. That's cool.
Terrible.
Whoever the purple nurples are, that's who Adam goes for. I don't know who that is.
I'm assuming that's the Vikings. Last one, Monday Night Football, Rams and the Buccaneers. This should be a pretty good game. The Rams are pretty good. The Buccaneers are not terrible either. But I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers at home here. I think they're just a better team than the Rams. But it should be definitely a good game. Justin.
Give me the Bucks here. The young Bucks.
Okay, Giannis Antetokounmpo coming out there. Okay.
Yeah, give me the Bucks. Tampa, baby.
Casey and Adam in tandem.
Tampa, baby. For me, I'm waiting on Adam to see if he wants to go with the Rammy Hammers or the Buckies.
Okay. If you say so.
The Bucky Duckies.
Terrible.
Hold on. Rams with the upset. Oh my God. He said Rams with the upset.
Rams with the upset. All right.
Rams.
And with that, that'll do it for the Week 11 preview for the NFL. This episode of the Baltimore Colts Show. If you haven't already, like us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, favorite us on Spotify, or whatever you do on Apple Podcasts and Anchor, heart it, whatever you do. But nonetheless, if you haven't already, be sure to check out our Whack 'em, Smack 'em, watch along. You can watch it with us. It'll be definitely a good time, especially if you're bored. If you're like, man, I really want to watch Whack 'em, Smack 'em tonight, but I don't have anybody to watch it with, then you can watch it with us crazy folks, okay? So be sure to check that out, because it's going to be awesome. I promise. You will enjoy it more than anything. Shout out to Nick one more time for, suggesting the show. Because without him, we wouldn't be watching some smacking and whacking. But nonetheless, we just got demonetized off of that. Nonetheless, we'll see you guys on the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Adios. See ya. Peace.